Hey guys, what's up? This is Pants Air Dragon, and today we'll be doing the top 5 best supports for solo queue. In this patch, NaVi got buffed, Mordekaiser got a rework, but he's more like an AD carry, but I can make him work as a support, and I haven't done a support tier list since Zeke's Harbinger has come out. So with all that being said, let's get started.
Disco Desert.
Alright, so first up is going to be Alistair at number 5. Doesn't have a lot of damage but has a lot of CC, but when it comes to roaming, he's definitely one of the best supports to roam around the map and get you some kills and ganks. Of course, in the laning phase, he's more of a disengage or engage tool for his team if his jungler ganks, but not the best all-in since he doesn't have a lot of damage. But he can protect his AD carry if, say, Thresh gets a hook and he can just, headbutt away the enemy AD carry. And when it comes to the mid game and late game, well, he's really tanky with his ultimate, and all he really needs is some hit point to survive in team fights. Well, not even really, since 70% reduced damage is a lot. But once his W and Q are down, he doesn't have that much of an impact on team fights, so make sure it counts when he uses those skills. Sometimes he has to look for an engage, or he has to peel back and disengage for his AD carry or AP carries. Next up is going to be Nautilus. I don't actually see him as often as I did before, but nothing really happened to him, so since I don't see him being played a lot, I guess he's kind of falling off flavor, but I do feel like he still is a really good support at the moment. Next up at number 3 is still going to be Thresh. Probably one of the best supports if you're really good in the support role and you want to carry your lane, since he just has a lot of damage and skill involved in his kit. And this is why he's played a lot, since, well, he just has a lot of carry potential in him. So a lot of players will like to make themselves feel good and play him even though they kind of suck. No hate against a certain player, just hate against people who main a different role other than support but play Thresh anyways, since they feel like they can carry, I guess, in a support role, even though they don't main that role. Finally, at number 2 is my bitch, Soraka. This bitch is finally getting banned in solo queue and being used in the LCS. So I've been using her since the coin got buffed, and I did feel like she was pretty OP, at least in my eyes, but for some reason other supports weren't playing her except for a few support mains, but she was a very unpopular pick, and there was only 4 people I knew who played Soraka in high elo. But now it's being banned in a lot of my solo queue games, and I just can't seem to play her anymore. Plus, I already said she was really good before, and then a lot of people disagreed with me, so I just kinda caved and said, okay, well, I guess she's an honorable mention because so few players actually play her. But now fuck those guys, she's OP, and I hope they don't nerf her. Next up is gonna be Jana. Okay, so in the laning phase, it's nice with the shield, giving to your AD carry. Has some really dumb healing with their ultimate, plus knocking away enemies. And one of the best things about having a Jana on your team is if your carries are really fed, it's very hard to get to them with a Jana on your team. And yeah, she's gonna be number 1 for a while until she gets probably nerfed. Next up, we'll be doing some honorable mentions, and first up is gonna be NaVi. So I thought she'd be really OP with the movement speed buffs coming to her passive, and of course her ultimate doubling her passive, and giving you something similar to Olaf's movement speed when he activates his ultimate, but it's not as OP as you would think. Although in the laning phase, it does help to engage and disengage from jungler ganks or trying to engage on an enemy team. But you have to remember it only lasts for 1.5 seconds, so the movement speed buff doesn't last that long and doesn't cause too much of an impact. But otherwise, I don't know, she's pretty good as a support right now. Next up is going to be Blitzcrank. So this guy is really good, at least for solo queue, just because one grab can win you the game, and he can roam to other lanes and of course get some nice ganks here and now. And usually, it's always rewarding when you grab someone in the lane, so if you can hit those grabs in the lane, you're going to be very successful as a Blitzcrank player. And of course, you can carry your games. But if you can't land a grab to save your life, well, what good are you? So make sure that you're actually good at this champion and you can land those hooks, otherwise you're going to be a liability for your team. Next up is Leona. Okay, so she's really good at all-inning onto an enemy team, and she definitely has a lot of burst damage since her W scales with 50 damage per level. Also her sunlight passive, which is also nice. But that's the thing, she only has all-ins. There's no disengage. She's not the best at saving her AD carry. And even though she's pretty tanky with her W, if she does get ganked by an enemy team and they have some nice CC, well, she's not going to get away. And when she's behind or getting zoned out, it's very hard for her to do anything in the lane. But she's really good for those high all-in burst lanes like Mordekaiser. Speaking of Mordekaiser, Mordekaiser support is not the best way to play Mordekaiser. In fact, I feel like he's more of an AD carry. Well, you know what I mean by AD carry. He plays as that role. But basically, the way Mordekaiser works in support is he's really good against melee matchups, And also he's incredibly strong with someone like Tristana, who has a really long gap closer and can jump onto the enemy team. And once his W is on him and his AD carry, there's no 2v2s or even 2v3s that can possibly beat Mordekaiser and someone else. Like when you get 3 or more points into your W, you can 2v3 the enemy jungler easy peasy lemon squeezy. I've won against a Blitzcrank, I've won against a Thresh lane, and in one of my games I got really fed to the point where I was telling my AD carry to get an Aegis of the Legion for me. Even he questioned who was the actual carry in that game. But just giving you guys a heads up, expect to see this guy in the AD carry tier list even though he's not an AD carry. And also, I don't think he's that great against poke supports or range since they can kite him easily. But who knows, me personally, I would pick him up whenever he's up, just because I do believe he's pretty OP. And thanks guys for watching this video. Let me know who you think is the best support in your opinion, and I'll see you guys next time.